Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the information session for the Interfaces Graduate Training Program. I'm Kelly Raymond, the program coordinator, and I'd like to introduce you to the program co-directors, Dr. McCulloch and Dr. Rangamani. Dr. Andrew McCulloch is a distinguished professor of bioengineering and medicine and has been at UC San Diego for over 35 years, having served as both vice chair and then chair of the bioengineering department. He is the Shu Chen Chancellor's Endowed Chair in Engineering and Medicine, and he leads the Wu Sai Human Performance Alliance at UC San Diego. He's also the director of the UC San Diego Institute for Engineering and Medicine and serves as a co-director of the UC San Diego NHLBI Graduate Training Program. Dr. Padmini Rangamani is a professor in pharmacology at the UC San Diego School of Medicine. She was a professor in mechanical and aerospace engineering at UC San Diego for 10 years. She's a Jacobs Faculty Scholar, as well as an affiliate faculty member in bioengineering, nanoengineering, materials science and engineering, and the Center for Circadian Biology. Dr. Rangamani has training in both engineering and biological sciences, and her research group develops theoretical and computational models of cellular processes. Their long-term research goal is to build comprehensive models of cellular behavior, particularly at the interface of signal transduction and membrane mechanics. Please welcome Dr. McCulloch.
Thank you, Kelly. Can everyone see my screen okay? Good. So thank you all for your interest in what's known informally as the Interfaces Graduate Training Program. Technically, its real name is the Interdisciplinary PhD Specialization in Multiscale Biology, and we'll explain to you, how the program works. As Kelly mentioned, Dr. Rangamani is the co-director of the program with me, and Kelly is the program coordinator. So what we call the Interfaces Graduate Training Program, as I said, is really called the Interdisciplinary PhD Specialization in Multiscale Biology. Interdisciplinary PhD specializations are programs that you can join while earning your PhD in a home program. And this particular program is a collaboration between graduate programs in 4 divisions: biological sciences, health sciences, physical sciences, and engineering. We started in 2006 after we received an award from the Howard Hughes Medical Institute to create a new interdisciplinary program. And at UCSD, interdisciplinary programs were not a new idea. We had, one of the first neuroscience programs in the country, one of the first biochemistry programs, one of the first bioengineering programs. So interdisciplinary research and graduate training is built into UCSD since the day it opened. So we really wanted to do something that went beyond just bringing two disciplines together. And that's how we formed this specialization in multiscale biology. The specialization itself, with the help of that grant, was formally created and approved in 2009. And at the same time, we got a NIH T32 predoctoral training grant that we'll talk about later. But the key idea here is that you remain a graduate student in your home program, but you join the specialization usually at the end of your first year, and you graduate with your PhD degree in your home discipline and with a specialization in multiscale biology. So there are 10 graduate programs altogether at UCSD. The program features interdisciplinary co-mentors, and it's because its goal is to train the next generation of cross-disciplinary scientists. The things that make the Interfaces program unique are that the curriculum is technology-centered and hands-on. So our courses are all, to a greater or lesser degree, lab courses, hands-on lab courses. Most of them are quite small and reserved for PhD students, with priority for students who are in the specialization. And the emphasis is on integrative and quantitative analysis across multiple scales of biological organization, from molecule to organism to population in health and disease. And this, of course, makes the program very broad. So almost all of us are interested in problems that span scales of biological organization. But this is the organizing theme of the program, and the concept is that in order to do that, you need to have familiarity and expertise in technologies at different scales, as well as in the tools for integrating across those scales. So we offer 7 courses altogether in the specialization, and you can take as many of them as you like. But in order to graduate from the specialization, you need to take 3 of them during the course of your PhD studies, normally before advancement to candidacy. We also have some events, bi-weekly graduate seminars, an annual symposium and retreat, open houses for the courses, quarterly meetings, and an expectation that students in the specialization will participate as instructional assistants in the lab, one of the lab courses that we offer. Now, we're actually quite flexible about this. Some of the students end up getting this credit for doing things that aren't technically related to a course, since this isn't a formal TA-ship. It's just an instructional assistantship, and there are other ways to do it. So, for example, we have given students credit in the past for their work in organizing symposia and events. There was something else I was going to say about this. So the idea of this curriculum too, though, is that although it's unique to the specialization, it doesn't mean that it's not eligible for credit in your home degree. So we try and cross-list the courses in other graduate departments programs when needed. And it's up to your home graduate program, but many home graduate programs will give credit for some, if not all, of our courses towards your degree requirements. So even though you have to take 3 of our courses, in so doing, you may not actually have to increase your total course requirement for your degree, because our courses may count towards your degree. Similarly, for the graduate assistant, instructional assistant requirement, we can't give you credit within your home department, your home program for that work, but many graduate programs do give our students who serve as graduate instructional assistants in our courses TA credit if they have a teaching credit requirement for the degree. So we work hard in general with all of the graduate programs to make this interdisciplinary program accessible and not to create extra work for the sake of it. So students join this program because they want to sort of be immersed in the culture of interdisciplinary collaboration. They want to have the opportunity to work with students and faculty from different disciplines, because they see that that's the future of modern biomedical science. We also don't have prerequisites. So even though the courses that we offer are somewhat advanced and advanced topics like, multi-scale computational modeling or tissue engineering or functional magnetic resonance imaging, and they're graduate courses, they are deliberately graduate courses without lots of prerequisites. In fact, generally without any prerequisites, so that you can learn by doing rather than rely on a lot of theoretical prerequisites. And part of the idea here too is that students tend to work in teams in these courses. And so what you might not know, a team member in your group from a different discipline can help you learn. So this is really the big idea of this program, is to help you get a jump on doing science the way we all do science, which is in a highly interdisciplinary way. So the aims of the program are to train a new generation of cross-disciplinary scientists who's been actively engaged in dual-mentored life science research at the interfaces between different scientific disciplines via a well-coordinated collaboration between, it's actually 10 doctoral programs from 4 divisions. To provide state-of-the-art training in specialized research technologies through a hands-on graduate curriculum of graduate laboratory courses that exposes students to different disciplines and research technologies that are normally unavailable for formal instruction, and creates unique opportunities for students to work together in cross-disciplinary teams. And finally, to provide a unique educational focus on integrative quantitative analysis across multiple scales of biological organization, from molecule to organism, in health and disease. This theme is complementary with many of the interdisciplinary research centers and projects across campus, including the Institute for Engineering and Medicine that I direct, but it's entirely distinct from any other training grant or graduate program that we have. In fact, it's the most interdisciplinary graduate program at UCSD and probably in the entire UC system. So these are the 10 graduate programs that currently participate. If you happen to be from a graduate program that's not on this list, we can facilitate the addition of your graduate program to the specialization. So some of these graduate programs on the list weren't on the original list, and students came along from those graduate programs and they said, we want to participate. And then we went to the graduate program and helped them do the paperwork to be added to the specialization. And that would not actually prevent you even from being, say you are from a discipline that's not on this list, that would not even prevent you from being admitted in this cycle, because formally you don't actually join a PhD specialization until you advance to candidacy. So there would be time for your graduate program to be added if they're not already on the list. So who can apply? Well, generally, and I think probably most of you fall into this category, this program is for students join this program at the end of the first year or the beginning of the second year of the PhD, and they apply during the spring quarter of the first year of the PhD. But because, as I said, formally, you're not actually part of the interdisciplinary specialization from the university's point of view until you advance to candidacy. If you're a second or third year student who hasn't yet advanced to candidacy, you can also apply to join the specialization this quarter. You need to advance to candidacy and complete the program requirements before the university formally considers you a candidate for the PhD in your home department with the specialization in multiscale biology. We have a few requirements. The 2 most important ones are that you take 3 of or more of our 7 interfaces graduate courses, one of which must usually be our data science for multiscale biology course, because data science these days is so foundational, and because we also use this course to prepare you in areas that are required by various training programs in rigor and reproducibility. You may have already taken a course that is substantially similar, and in that case, you can petition to use another one of our lab courses to fulfill that requirement. So an important feature of this program is that it's dual mentored. So students have 2 interdisciplinary co-mentors. Recently, we've petitioned the Graduate Council to slightly change our definition of what we mean by interdisciplinary co-mentors. Traditionally, interdisciplinary meant that your mentors came from 2 different departments or graduate programs or divisions of campus. But these days, our faculty are so interdisciplinary, even within a single department. They may have trained in or graduate program, they may have trained in a wide range of different areas, that this distinction became a little artificial. And so instead, what we now ask you to do is to identify 2 co-mentors, one of whom would be the multi-scale domain science mentor. So maybe you're studying Drosophila development, and one mentor is an expert on the molecular and cellular processes involved in Drosophila development. And then maybe you're using a variety of genomic and imaging technologies to study Drosophila development, and then another co-mentor might be the expert in those technologies. Now, again, this is also a wee bit contrived. The idea isn't that one person is strictly the domain co-mentor and the other strictly the technology co-mentor, but rather that you think about identifying mentors who can bring together a combination of multi-scale scientific expertise and the tools to combine them. And so, we're not really stringent about this. It's more just a prompt to help you find interdisciplinary co-mentors who can help you do innovative science by applying new technologies to multi-scale problems. We have a website with the program faculty, and if you have a co-mentor who's not on the list, they can easily be added with their approval. So most of the way this list formed was by the students saying, my advisor would like to be on this program too. So if you already have advisors and co-mentors and they're not on the list, the easy thing to do is to add them. Um, if you have one proposed advisor and you're looking for others, you can go to the list and you can also consult me and Dr. Rangamani. We know the program faculty well and we know who their collaborators are. You can ask your home advisor who a good collaborator will be. Perhaps if they're new and they don't know, we can help you and them find a co-mentor. So that's the co-mentorship requirement, and it's really just what we really want here is not co-mentorship in name, but genuine, sort of bona fide interdisciplinary co-mentorship where you're really benefiting from the combination of domain science and technology expertise of those labs. So here's our curriculum and the instructors and the quarters when they're offered. And you can see that listed at the top is Beng 219, Data Science for Multiscale Biology, that's taught by Professor Valdez Hasso, Professor Joe Schoenberg in Pharmacology of Biochemistry, and Professor Ben Smar in Bioengineering and Data Sciences Institute. Then we have a multi-scale, and so this is a hands-on practical course in processing in using modern tools in machine learning to do data science, to handle data sets. And you can bring your own data along, and the course is sort of designed for you to be able to be very interactive and to take results away. Similarly, multi-scale neurodynamics is offered in bioengineering, biology, and physics by Dr. Gert Kouwenbergs, and that's a hands-on computational course. We have a hands-on tissue engineering course and a hands-on medical imaging laboratory course that uses magnetic resonance imaging. And so you can see already that these courses are using different technologies at different scales, or they're using computational technologies to integrate across them. Molecular imaging and quantification in living cells is offered by Dr. Bintu, and we hope that by the end of this year, we'll have another imaging course to add to this list. Then I left Dr. Rangamani off this list, but she and I and Dr. Maro and Sanowski offer a course where some of you are in now on numerical analysis for multi-scale biology that spans all the way from atomic resolution molecular dynamics to whole organ computational modeling. And then we have a course in supramolecular structure determination offered by Professor Komavez and Majid Gassemian. So you can see we have courses on technologies, the sort of technologies like mass spectrometry and MRI and live cell microscopy that you may normally not have a chance to do a lab in, that span scales from molecule to tissue, and computational courses that teach approaches to integrating across these scales. And again, you don't have to only take 3 of these courses, you could take more, and we work hard to help your graduate program give you credit for these courses towards the degree, so they don't have to be over and above, necessarily have to be over and above the course requirements that you have for your home program. We also have regular events, student seminars, These are well attended and very interactive, and we normally have 2 student talks within one lunch hour. So they're relatively easy to do. They're great sort of practice for presenting your work, perhaps for the first time. And these seminars have actually often led to new collaborations and new ideas. Sometimes we use these luncheons to have mentors come and talk about different aspects of interdisciplinary science and career development. We have an annual research symposium that's very popular. We have a combination of student and invited presentations, career panel discussions, and social events. And then we also have the National Institute of Biomedical Imaging and Bioengineering has a grantees meeting that we send a couple of our trainees to. Okay, so that's the interdisciplinary degree specialization. If you join our specialization, and your plan and your mentorship plan and your curriculum plan match the goals of that program, and we can also consider you, if you're eligible, for appointment on our NIBIB T32 pre-doctoral training grant. In order to be eligible for the training grant, you need to be a US citizen or permanent resident. And I don't know why it says not in the specialization, and admitted to the specialization. The grant only supports students in the second and third year of the PhD. So normally at the same time you apply for admission to the specialization, if you're eligible, you can apply for support from that training grant for the coming second and third year. Typically, we support 3 new trainees a year. There are 6 slots on the training grant, but we also have an additional matching San Diego fellowship slot. So we can usually find support for 4 students each year. You need to identify, your application needs to explain how your planned thesis research matches the multi-scale theme of the program. And unfortunately, the Institute, since the retirement of the sort of original program director that ran this training grant, has now got a little bit picky about the types of projects that they're willing to support. So what you really need to do when you write your proposal is emphasize the technology and multi-scale aspects of the research. Because if you mention too much the sort of disease and biomedical science aspects, then when NIBIB runs your abstract through basically a word counting program, they'll conclude that your research is a better match to the National Cancer Institute or the National Heart, Lung and Blood Institute. So when you write your application, do emphasize the multi-scale themes and the technologies that you're using. Okay. Secondly, do emphasize and identify who your co-mentors will be and why. So why one co-mentor will be principally your domain science co-mentor and why the other will be principally your technology co-mentor, why you've chosen them. And then not all of our training faculty in the specialization are named on our training grant. And ideally, both of the co-mentors who you name, if you want to be supported on the training grant, will be named on the training grant. Occasionally, we can make it work when only one is, but when you go to our website and you look at the names of the training faculty, you can filter by those who are actually named on the training grant. And so if you want to apply for the training grant and you want to increase your chances of being supported on the training grant, try to find 2 co-mentors who are both named on that training grant. Now, these co-mentors are chosen, the people who are on the training grant are chosen because of their experience co-mentoring Interfaces graduate students, and they're also chosen because they collaborate with other people on the training grant. So it's not quite as difficult as it sounds, but it is the case that of all our specialization faculty, only about 2/3 of them are actually named on the training grant because we can only update the names of faculty on the training grant once in a while, and there's a limit to how many we can list. So there's always questions about that we're happy to answer. This is a list that I believe is up to date of the faculty in the specialization who are also named on the currently named on the training grant. But again, you can find them all on the website by choosing the menu that filters for training faculty names. So we will be posting the application materials on the Interfaces webpage this week, and applications will be due on Thursday, May the 8th. In the meantime, please contact Kelly or Dr. Rangamani or me with your questions. And we do have to tell you at this stage that, like the great majority of NIH grants awarded to UCSD and due to have received notices of award this year, neither of our training grants have actually received notices of award yet from NIH. Just like many of your advisors, NIH grants have not also received notices of award. Unfortunately, we don't have any news as to when that will happen, but we don't have any clear indication that it won't happen. So, so for the time being, we're just proceeding as though it will, and that by the time our appointments begin in the end of the summer, that we'll have the new award in place. So I think that's everything. Let me stop share and perhaps first just ask Dr. Rangamani if I missed anything. And then second, just open it up to questions.
Thank you, Andrew. That was pretty much everything. I also wanted to share for a couple of minutes my own perspective as someone who has interdisciplinary training. But before programs like these were in place, so as Kelly mentioned, I originally studied to be a chemical engineer, but then my PhD was from a med school in biology in a pharmacology department. And you can see how today in 2025, and in fact at UCSD for the past 20 years, we've had such programs, whereas in my time of training, we did not have such programs. So it had to evolve much more. Students and faculty had to do much more work to bring together theses like this. So I just want to encourage and, ask you all to consider what a nice opportunity this is to be part of a program like this. And my own students have been part of this program, and it has really helped them not just, make connections with other faculty on campus, but also help them with their internships, because they hear something in a student seminar and then they go to a summer internship, and then it kind of carries over into their own training or their paper. So it's a very nice opportunity for all of us to have here. That's something I wanted to share, why I feel very passionately about this program.
Thanks. Yeah, I also had a sort of an interdisciplinary training between medical school and engineering, but again, it was informal. It relied on my co-mentors to arrange this. Okay, so there's some questions in the chat. Will the slideshow be shared? Yes, I think all the information, actually, there's more detailed information than this in the website itself, but Kelly will send everyone who's signed up today an email with links to all the materials. Do all co-mentors need to be added to the interface? Yeah. So if you are being co-mentored in the specialization, then we always invite your co-mentor, both of your co-mentors, to join the specialization faculty, and most enthusiastically agree. If they don't, then it doesn't really prevent you from being in the specialization as long as one of your faculty members is. If your faculty mentor is not on our list, it means they're not on our training grant, and so that will make your the competitiveness of your application for support by the training grant somewhat less. Any other questions? I can say that this program's been enormously successful. Often the lab courses have themselves and the discussions themselves and the student seminars have led to new collaborations that have led to major new initiatives and grants and papers. Our trainees are enormously successful. The training grant itself is enormously successful and usually gets a perfect score, did last time. And the reason is because of the quality of the trainees and the success of the trainees. So, you know, we're really happy with the way this program works, but it's really because of the enthusiastic participation of the students. And you know, it's a difficult time with all the uncertainty about student support, and so that's probably more of you are here because of anxiety about support than, you know, about thinking about your PhD career. But you know, I'm optimistic that the traineeship will be there, but they're only a small fraction of the total number of students we have in the program. Most of the students in the program aren't on the training grant, and they receive all the same benefits, and they've been incredibly successful. And in fact, it's amazing to see, you know, how many of them have not only done incredible multi-scale science, but they've done the next generation of multi-scale science. They actually took what they learned in some of our courses and then did the first new studies that combined, crossed scales, using computational models or new combinations of technologies that hadn't previously been used. Any other questions? Okay, well, in that case, thanks everyone, and thank you, Kelly. And Kelly will follow up with an email with links to the resources and a copy of the slides.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Thank you.